Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Tallawah TV with Crystal Davis.
I feel like I'm from UK, you know.
See the moonlights on the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Tallawah TV is in the town. Whoa, I'm getting ready. Got a corner on the telephone. Yeah, this is the Ocean of the Messenger, and you're watching Tallawah TV with the host and best Davis. Take it away.
Hello, I'm Hansi Parchment. You're watching Tallawah TV with Crystal Davis.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girlz is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Den Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
My Tallawahs, I hope you guys can hear me. Drop a comment in the comment section and let me know if you can't. I've checked. I'm not on mute. I do sound all right headphones wise. Let me just give that another check. I'm going to turn myself up a little bit so you guys can hear me loud and clear. Before I forget my manners, good afternoon, good evening, possibly good morning. All depends on where you're based in the world. The headline reads for itself. If you don't want to read it, I'll go ahead and read it for you. FIFA 2023 Women's World Cup has more drama than a soap opera. Where is the buzz? That's what I'm asking you guys. Like, where is the buzz? I am over here snoozing. It's taken me a while to actually build myself up to finally give you some content on the Reggae Girlz, because things are starting to feel a bit depressing. I can't lie to you guys. And I feel like that's just the landscape of women's football going into the World Cup. It just feels so different to the let's take it back a bit. Let's go back maybe by 4 years, so not too far back. 2019 Women's World Cup, which of course that was the Reggae Girlz debut at the World Cup. Then it was like filled with plenty of excitement and life and energy. And now I'm thinking we're 2 weeks away from the World Cup kicking off in Australia and New Zealand. So we're 2 weeks away from all the teams being down under, ready to put on a show. My only real glimmer of hope right now is I felt the same about the Men's World Cup, which would have been the 2022 Men's World Cup, in the sense that I wasn't too upbeat about a Winter World Cup, but when the tournament started, I think we all enjoyed it. Plus the shock of Argentina losing their first game. I thought, yeah, then obviously subsequently they went on to be crowned kings of the world. So that's my last glimmer of hope. I'm like, it's a bit dead at the moment, but maybe when the tournament kicks off and we get underway, the energy might start to lift up from down under and reach us wherever we're based, where be it in the UK, the Caribbean, Africa, wherever you are. Hopefully we can get hit with some good energy, because right now things are feeling quite pessimistic. Things aren't really how I want them to be. Let me know how you guys are feeling there in the comment section. Mr. Reed, you're always here. Good evening. Guess what? I don't know. You tell me. Malik, good evening to yourself. Blair Video. Just about things are all right with me, Blair. I'm feeling a little bit down with all this women's football. I don't say that very often, so I think that pretty much summarize how I'm feeling towards what will unfold in about 2 weeks' time, right? Good evening to you from New Jersey. Good evening to yourself. Mr. Drew Forter says, yes, you are right, Miss Crystal. Don't feel the hype. I'm gonna leave it at that. I love that. At least someone's with me, right? Finally. And guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Whilst you, what's say, as soon as you enter the live stream, just go ahead and hit that like button. And I'm going to bring back this comment up, but in case you're just tuning in, here is the headline: FIFA 2023 Women's World Cup has more drama than a soap opera. Where is the buzz? Tell me where the buzz is, people, because I can't find it. I don't know, maybe I need my spectacles. You tell me in the comment section and lead me in the right direction. And for this show, I'm not going to be doing it alone. I don't think I have the willpower to carry a show like this by myself, because there's way too much going on. So I've gone and I've reached out to a very close friend of mine, and we're going to be chopping things up. We're going to be looking at what's going on, not just with Jamaica and also Nigeria as well, but we're going to be looking at other countries, just to kind of paint a picture of like what's going on, and maybe it will make some sense as to why I feel like that the hype just isn't there at the moment. So I'm going to be leaning on my very special guest, and like I said, a friend of mine. He's a sports media creative, and I'm pretty sure he'll be waving the green, white, green. That's almost like a tongue twister. Green, white, green. The lovely colors of Nigeria for the World Cup. There's a second team that I'm sure he's supporting, but I'm not even going to touch on them. He might bring them up, but I won't. It is Mr. Olafiseyo. How are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you so much, and I appreciate the intro as well. It's always a pleasure to be here alongside yourself, and I'm always here to bring the vibes. I'm happy to be back.
How you feeling about the World Cup?
Literally talking about vibes. I wish it was giving me what I needed, but unfortunately at this point, it is seeming a little bit more tepid than bubbling as I would like it. There is some chat, and we've got 2 weeks to go now to the tournament, so that you would expect there to be some chat, but the level of excitement is not exactly where I thought it would be.
Do you remember how you was feeling like this time round, when we was literally like looking forward to things kicking off with France being the host for the 2019 edition?
Yeah, I remember us making loads of plans. I remember us making media packs, sending them out to everyone. I remember us looking at accommodation, all that sort of stuff. Literally, like a massive buzz. We were maybe a shade younger at that time, and we were very excited to go to our, you know what I mean? And we were very excited to go to our first tournament. And there was like more hype. To be honest, actually, there was actually a little bit of a stir for that tournament as well, where people were asking, hey, this is now a major tournament. That was coming off the back of Canada. They're like, hey, we've got a bit more of an accessible time zone. Let's get more eyes on it. Let's get more people talking about it. Let's get more people down to watch them in France, to watch the Women's World Cup. But still, there was like good buzz. People were still talking about it. Whether it was positive or negative, people were still talking about it. But this time round, I really feel like people are talking about anything else but the Women's World Cup. It's just like, yo, what's going on? We've got like a massive tournament. We just had a very successful, I guess, in England's point of view, but I think from a media and women's football growth point of view as well, a successful European tournament. And you'd think like, hey, after that, let's just like go have another party in Australia, a place known for partying and known for celebrating cultures. And it's looking a little dead, I can't lie.
I thought at first, I was like, maybe I'm just reading like too much into things. I'm like, no, surely like I'm getting this wrong, but I don't know. I'm just not in the World Cup vibes. But like I said at the start of my stream, it could just be like similar to the run up to the men's World Cup in 2022, where it's just like people weren't really fan of a Winter World Cup because it was the first of its kind. But as soon as the tournament kicked off and gained momentum with Argentina being hit in the face, then people started to be a little bit more exciting. So it's my last hope. I'm hoping that that's going to be the. I'm hoping that we don't get hit in the face and things turn sour. But somebody needs to get slapped in the face down under so we can so we can get this party started because it's just so dead at the moment. But something needs to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but at the moment I kind of feel like there's like this sour taste going around, like with so many different federations. And unfortunately it's federations or with teams that are quite I guess you could say well developed in terms of the players that they've produced on home soil and the leagues that they play in for their respective clubs and so on. And it's more of the same, like literally across the board. We're going to be like touching on a couple of the federations and their teams, but what's like the one thing that's probably shocked you the most so far?
I guess there's a mixture of things, like we touched upon, like the lack of buzz is a bit disappointing. I think for a couple of the news points that we're going to talk about came up. I think the first thing was just seeing the range of injuries that happened to a lot of star players. That meant a lot of star players are missing the tournament, and I think that didn't do any favors for the buzz and the hype around it. Talking from our current home soil point of view in England, we're missing our captain, Leah Williamson. We had some injury scares with Lucy Bronze. We had some injury scares with Millie Bright. We've had key players who played in the Euros who just won it, like a championship team, retire in Ellen White. And Beth Mead again was also injured. So like a lot of star players in that regard for England are missing. Across Europe again, looking at Arsenal point of view, because that's where my heart lies. Vivian Miedema is also injured again for Holland. So and there are other players across other countries for this tournament who are also injured. So it's kind of removes some of the star power and removes some of the buzz. And really what people are looking forward to for this World Cup specifically was who can actually beat the USA, who are going to rise up, which team is it going to be to finally knock the USA off their pedestal, and we have a different winner of the Women's World Cup. I think we have to go back to 2 or 3 World Cups ago where the USA didn't win it. And that is disappointing, trying to have like a homogenous sort of winner each and every time. So that was surprising, seeing the amount of injuries, a lot of them being related to ACLs and being related to knees, which has been studied a lot, and there has been some research developed and some suggestions made specifically in mind for women players and how they can possibly adapt the game, or how the game can adapt to them to ensure that everyone is as fit as possible throughout tournaments and throughout their whole playing careers. Like if you look at Nike recently, they've come out with a new football boot specifically designed for women players, which is really quite exciting. But definitely the injuries was a massive talking point before the tournament kicks off. And then the next thing that we have to talk about, it has to be the scandals, it has to be the federations. Like everywhere you look, someone's federation is really messing up, and that's really, really, really disappointing. Again, I guess like we had the warm, rosy, fuzzy feeling of a European tournament, and I guess I'm definitely a bit more biased because I was in amongst it. I was around the fans. It was held in the UK, so there was a lot of first-hand experience in that tournament and with the fans, and understanding sort of like the media landscape and how people were talking about women's football and how excited people were for women's football, or at least it seemed that way anyway. But yeah, no one's got no money. We thought that excitement would translate into money, and that has not happened, unfortunately. Like from a media point of view, people are not flying out, or a lot fewer people are flying out. I'm not getting flown out, and I'm very annoyed by that. And federations don't have the cash either. And it's like, yo, what's going on? Yeah, there's a lot of shocking things happening, and there's a lot to talk about.
There's so much to talk about. I'm gonna backtrack a bit. I don't know about them not having any money. Maybe your gaffer for the Nigeria women's team has something different that he wants to chime in on. We're gonna touch on Nigeria and also the Reggae Girlz as well. But yeah, backtracking and looking at USA, like you said, I think this was the year, the World Cup year, where people probably thinking, yes, someone's going to challenge them. Me per se, look, if the Reggae Girlz aren't going to win it, bring that back to CONCACAF, like bring it back to our region. So I have no qualms if USA go and win it once more, because it stays in the CONCACAF region. If it's not the Reggae Girlz, then I would prefer for it to stay in CONCACAF for obvious reasons. So I don't have no problems with that. But one thing I like about them is they always seem to like get their 12th man behind them, and I think they've off to a steady start again with that announcement video. I'm watching, I'm seeing you guys went and grabbed Lil Wayne. Like this if it's one thing you can give the Americans credit for, is their ability to create a buzz. Really and truly, like they know how to hype things up. And of course, when it comes to the men's World Cup in 2026, you expect nothing but the best from them, because they know how to put on a show, and you can kind of see that and feel it from just their announcement video of the player announcement who are set to compete or try to retain their crown at this year's Women's World Cup.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't gonna lie. That was one of the hardest things I ever saw. Lil Wayne announcing Crystal Dunn. I was like, yo, come on.
So appropriate.
Honestly,
So
it was
appropriate.
very, very cool. And it's like that. You're exactly right. That's the type of hype that we need. I'm trying to even remember the England announcement one. I'm not even sure England have announced it. No, they have announced it, but I fully can't remember.
They announced them because I saw them book a flight. I saw them on a plane. So I'm like, it's been announced. I just think that no country so far has touched the USA with in terms of the announcement, and who's gonna knock that one out the park. It's just they do things different on the other side of the pond, and they are reigning champions. I think Americans, when it comes to sports in particular, they do rate themselves quite highly, and rightly so, and they do see themselves as the best, and who can argue with it, especially where women's football is concerned. They're queens of the world, and they're not looking to let go of that crown no time soon.
No, exactly. They're not there in that crown slip at all. They, like you said, they really have found their form at just the right time. They've produced and they've integrated some younger players into the squad that have really, really matured and are really, they look like they could be world beaters, which is really exciting for them. It really was looking for a little bit there. I think in the She Believes Cup, they were looking a little bit shaky, a little bit wobbly, and it looked like there might be an opportunity to take that crown. But since then, they've grown, got stronger, and their qualifying matches and their friendlies have looked very, very, very impressive. And looking at the quality that you see in the league, like the NWSL has got stronger through their homegrown players. There's a lot of excellent young players that have come through the WSL and found the NWSL and found themselves in the USA team proper. So that's really exciting. I want to just like quickly shout out Brazil's launch video, announcement video for their team. They did a very nice.
Oh yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah,
exactly. They had Brazilians in the streets and just like in Brazil, just living their lives, but also just like teaching the world how to pronounce these stellar players' names. That was fantastic. And Northern Ireland, that was really cute as well. That was like a young girl kicking football and just like shouting out the names of her future heroes that are going to the World Cup. So that was very cool. So people are trying. It's not like saying that people aren't trying to try, but not enough people are trying for us. Not enough people are trying for me. I say that.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to pick up Brazil. They're one of our opponents, so I don't really know if I might want to sweep that one under the rug. I really think I want to focus too much on samba. We have round 2 reggae versus samba taking place down under in some weeks' time. But yeah, we're gonna backtrack, and there's I'm trying to see if I can get some positives before we talk about the drama and all the soap opera. I guess the positive for Nigeria is you guys are already in Australia, which is a good look. At least you get rid of your jet lag.
Yeah, exactly. We touched down a couple of days ago, and that gives us some time to acclimate to the weather, acclimate to the environment, and actually train together, which is very excellent. We've got like a wide squad, a varied squad this time, a squad that is full of experience and also full of new faces, which is really nice to see. And hopefully those new faces can add quality and dynamism to the squad as well, because it was an aging squad off the back of France 2018. So now it's looking to be a bit freshed up, and then hopefully 2019. Sorry, and hopefully we can gel together, spend some time together, build that camaraderie, build that vibrancy that Nigeria always bring, and then hopefully turn that into great results on the pitch as well. Yeah, it should be good times.
Yeah, I know we're going to talk a bit more about Nigeria because I was struggling to pull positivity out the air with the Super Falcons. There's so much there to dissect. When it comes to the Reggae Girlz, however, unlike Nigeria, we're still trying to find our feet to go down under. Was told that we are expected to depart from Amsterdam to Australia either Saturday or Sunday. Though there's no current confirmation on that. So if that goes ahead, that will be great. If it doesn't go ahead, then that kind of spells trouble because we are supposed to be playing against Morocco. I believe it's on Sunday, so not this Sunday coming up, next Sunday. So typically a trip to down under, especially when you're in Europe. Guess you could just say Europe because I'm in the UK. The girls are currently in Amsterdam. It's probably similar distance. So it's going to take you at least 23 hours or maybe even a whole day to go down under, and then you've got to shake off the jet lag. So that's going to take a while, and then you probably move into light training and then maybe something a little bit more intense. Then you're looking forward to Morocco, and Morocco have been fine tuning. I think this is one of the fixtures that the Reggae Girlz themselves wanted. Most certainly, I did a interview with Rebecca Spencer and Big Drew as well some months back. Where was it? I think it might have been at the Emirates. Yeah, I think it was some North London derby, and they were telling me that the Morocco team believe that they can beat us. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope that that one still goes ahead. But in case you just missed what I said, there is a confirmed chartered flight based off what I've been told. It's just a matter of confirmation coming through with regards to when the team will be traveling. It's looking like it's going to be the weekend apparently, so Saturday or Sunday. Whether that's going to go ahead, only Lord knows. You don't really know, really and truly, when it comes to the Reggae Girlz or just Jamaican football in general. There always seems to be some hiccups, but hopefully they do get on their skates and go down under close of play on the weekend, because like I said, in some days time after they land, hopefully no later than Monday, then they have a game that's Sunday week against Morocco. So we're going to keep our eyes on that one and see how things pan out. And obviously, it's a Reggae Girlz channel, so we're going to be focusing on the Reggae Girlz. But I think I decided to focus quite a few number of teams tonight, just to bring everyone up to speed, just so we can understand the complacency across the board where football federations is concerned. And you're probably going to be shocked by some of the stuff that I have to like read out to you, because even when I was doing my preparation and my notes, I was like, good Lord, I can't believe what I'm reading. Like the disrespect, the language that's used is just shocking. It's like schoolboy stuff. Obviously I'm smiling, but it's not a laughing matter. And it just goes to show, like, I hate to be that person, but there's issues all across the board where a number of federations is concerned. I just wish and hope that black run federations would act better, would be more graceful in their approach and how they carry themselves with their professionalism. But unfortunately, we're not at that point yet. We're not at that level yet. So who knows? Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on how things is going on with the Reggae Girls. Obviously, I can only give you guys what I know. I can't really come up do a live stream and just like make things up just to keep people happy. So as far as I'm concerned, there is a chartered flight, and it's just a matter of when with the girls will be departing to go down under. Like I said, hopefully hopefully no longer than Sunday, and then hopefully they'll land maybe Monday, or as it should take at least 24 hours to get to Australia. That's going to be a long flight. So yeah, so that's where we're at. So let's go back and look at a couple of the madness, the drama, the soap opera that's been taking place across um a number of federations. It will probably make you guys feel a little bit better. Actually, it shouldn't, because we're our federation, the JFF, is just appalling. But yeah, I'm just gonna bring you guys up to speed. For some of you, it probably sounds a little bit repetitive because you should already know what's going on with a number of teams. But yeah, we're going to be looking at one of our opponents. And that being said, let me just take the Super Falcons off the screen for a little while. I'm going to bring them back up. Let me stop the shared screen. I'm going to be looking at one of our opponents. And we're going to be playing them down under. They had a game earlier on tonight, and I'm going to look at that result with you guys. First game of the World Cup for the Reggae Girls. We're going to be going head to head with one of football's heavyweights, that be it the French, and that's taking place for me here in the UK, 11 a.m. on July the 23rd. Jamaica time, you guys are currently 6 hours behind me, so do the math and figure things out your end. And if you're across the pond, then likewise, just do the calculations, work with the time difference. There's far too many of you for me to sit here and say this is going to be your kickoff time. So yeah, again, for Jamaica, I am 6 hours ahead of you as things stand. Right, so we're going to dive and look into France. I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw the the absolute mayhem that was going on in France, I was a little bit happy. I was like,
It's like it's not just us, you know what I mean?
like, oh, you're telling me that the skipper is gonna miss the World Cup? Oh, really now? I was like, you're telling me two of your key players are not going to be part of the World Cup, or whose group are they in? But no. All seriousness, I think it was never going to happen. I think it was just a case of the skipper, the legend, Renard, putting her feet down, and she was backed by a few of her teammates, Diani, and also Tuto as well. She went ahead and backed her. And if I go down and look at that article with you guys, this one was quite upsetting. Like I said, all jokes aside, you can read the headline there. It says, my heart is suffering. France captain Wendy Renard speaks, sparks World Cup exits. And this one was this story came out some months back. Trying to look at the date for this one came out. This particular article came out in February 24th. That's a special day for me, not for you guys. And this is how it's pretty much looking here, guys, in case you aren't familiar with this particular um, case regarding the tussle between in this instance, in this case, there was just a range of long-standing issue. I think the main focus of this one was focused on the previous gaffer who's departed like literally like 24 hours after this went out. They just booted her out. They're like, no, we can't afford to not go to the World Cup. So they put her on the skate on her skates and she had to get out of there. And yeah, you guys probably can't see or read this one clearly, but it basically says France captain Wendy Renard said on Friday that she will not play at this year's Women's World Cup to preserve her mental health, adding that she can no longer support the current system. And like I said, a few of her international teammates, few of the core players, pivotal players that make up the France women's national side, followed her in pursuit as well as a show of solidarity. That was wonderful to see. But at the time, what the 32-year-old won 142 caps with the Les Blues. I think we all knew that there is no way that France's captain was not going to be at the World Cup with two of her international teammates. So whilst I was thinking, oh, okay, that's looking like we've got three less players to worry about, I think I knew very quickly that yeah, that's not going to be the case. What do you make of this particular story when it came out?
Yeah, I remember talking to you about it at the time, and it was unfortunate. I think was like the biggest takeaway from it. Wendy Renard is a legend of women's football, and a powerful force within France and in French football as well. But she was going up against the federation, specifically against Corinne Diacare, who was the coach, the head coach of France Women's, and she just hated her methods, and a lot of the team felt the same as well. Like there was shocks amongst the team with the team selection that was selected for the Women's Euros. Some big name players were left out due to no real reason. Diacare, I think she said she wanted to change the system, bring in a different type of France to the Euros, but leaving out some top players was just unacceptable and left France a little bit short-handed. In the tournament they did well, but you could see like they didn't have enough to get over the line in some of the big games, big games that they could have won as well. And Wendy and the rest of the French national team had enough, and it was them against the federation, which unfortunately is a common theme with a lot of these teams going to the World Cup. It's them, the actual players versus the federations themselves. And she did what she needed to do to bring about change and to get a new coach in place. Now they have got a new coach, Hervé Renard, who was the coach of Saudi Arabia for the Men's World Cup. It was crazy.
Madness.
Guy,
the one who created history.
Exactly. By being, this is the guy who led Saudi Arabia to win against Argentina whilst Messi was playing, and created that meme, "Where's Messi?" so he outside of that achievement, he is a renowned manager, especially for international teams, especially for African teams, and Arab teams, I guess at this point. He's been around the block. He's a well-respected coach, a very, very charismatic guy. To my knowledge, he hasn't taken charge of a women's team before. So I do. There are not reservations, but like it's an unknown factor, so you don't really know how he's going to go. But I'm hopeful that his his people management skills, which have been seen to motivate a lot of players and a lot of teams to very, very good results, can play off well for France, French women's national team this time round. But yeah, it's sad to see this type of thing happen, where players butt heads with their federations and they're just not being supported in the way that they need to. It's disappointing to see a similar thread through a bunch of stories going into this tournament. But I'm glad that we have seen that players can take it into their own hands and affect change and make change. Hopefully we see the results of that in a positive way on the pitch as well.
Yeah, I love the way you summarize that, beautifully put. In my mind, you just kind of reminded me that it's Renard versus Renard. It's almost like that Spider-Man meme. Double Renard could only spell trouble.
Like exactly. The two of them together, like they're both extremely charismatic. So we'll see what sort of powers they got.
Yeah, and like you said, he was the coach that pretty much did the unthinkable with Saudi Arabia. I don't think anyone could have predicted what Saudi Arabia did against Argentina. For me, I think in my years of watching football, that's probably like the biggest shock result that I can think of at that stage of football, that level of competition. I don't think in men's football World Cup history that, for me, that was the shock. Saudi Arabia, just no disrespect to them, but you just didn't see it coming. Like, it's just no way you could have predicted that.
Nah, it was incredible. So like, hopefully with that type of charismatic leader for the team, we can see France do something unexpected in this tournament. Maybe they can get.
No. I don't think I'm going to bring you back on it. Like, you're saying all the wrong things.
Hey, two people can go through the group stage. It's cool. It's calm.
First, you're bigging up
Brazil.
Now you're showing France a little too much love. Like, read the room. Like,
nah, seriously. Like we're hopeful for France. We're hopeful for Jamaica, most importantly. I'll say that definitely. But we're also hopeful for France. But Danica, I just saw on the chat there, like, brought up another story. Again, with just like players versus the federation, seeing just disrespect across the board, which is unfortunate, and especially disproportionate when it comes to women's football. But everyone's trying, everyone will do their best, and really and truly the fans will support the players, and that will have a large impact. And putting your voice behind your players who have the most insight into what's going on within their teams and within their federations can hopefully bring about some change as well.
Yeah, I mean, Danica, thank you so much for your comment. I don't think I've seen you on my channel before, so welcome. Hopefully this isn't your first, or your last. And so with that being said, I hope you've hit the subscribe button. And do I have some news coming your way, Danica? If you love a bit of disrespect, I've got some disrespect coming your way with these federations. So don't go nowhere. Please stick with me and my special guest, Mr. Olafuseo, sports media creative. For me, one of the best sports media creative, does what he says on the tin. Most certainly working across football, and he also does things within the entertainment industry as well, where music is concerned. What's the biggest project you've worked on, like football and music wise?
Football, there's been a couple things. So I did a lot of digital work across the women's Euros, and that was great. Quite a bit across the men's Euros the year before that, or a couple of years before that. Did some stuff with EA Sports FIFA. That was really fun for the launch of FIFA 20 at the time. That was very cool. Being around the block, did a lot of stuff for the Olympics, producing videos and bringing the games to everyone across the website as well, and like some stuff on TV as well. So I've been around the block. I've done some bits.
Definitely been around the block. Long may it continue. And we're just working our way through these federations. If you're just tuning in, good afternoon, good evening, or possibly good morning to yourself. The headline reads for itself: FIFA 2023 Women's World Cup has more drama than a soap opera. Where is the buzz? That's my question to you guys. Where is the buzz? Drop a comment in the comment section and let me know how you're feeling. We're officially 2 weeks away from the 2023 Women's World Cup. Doesn't even feel like we're in a Women's World Cup year, let alone a Women's World Cup month. So let me know how you guys are feeling. Another team that I think it's worth touching on, because I'm pretty sure everyone in my comment section should be familiar with their story, because they do belong to CONCACAF. So it shouldn't come as no surprise. You should be in the loop with them. But I think it's worth touching on their problems as well, because it should be known to us. Like I said, they belong to CONCACAF, so you guys should know. They're currently the reigning Olympic gold medalists, and with that being said, it's quite obvious that I'm talking about the Canada women's team. This is another thing that really hurt my head, Allah. I'm sure you saw this one as well. As you can see right here, this article is 4 months old. So things have changed in that regard. I'm just trying to give you guys a sense of why I think things are feeling a little bit gloomy, and there's a lack of excitement and energy. Energy just isn't quite there when you compare this Women's World Cup to the build up to France World Cup, which took place in 2019. I don't think it's as simple as saying, you know, for me, the excitement was there because France is just right next door to the UK. I don't think I can just put it down to that. I feel like there was more of an effort from not the players themselves, but the federations, the media within these media teams within these federation pushing the narrative, the sponsors as well, the shirt manufacturers, the whole lot. I remember seeing kit release that were done in the style of like a fashion week, like a fashion runway, and I was just like, whoa, like that's unique. That doesn't seem like it's been done before, and it worked like magic. But yeah, focusing on Canada, the headline for this one reads for itself: Canada women's team on strike over pay equity issues, says Christine Sinclair. And this one again doesn't sound unique. It's not unique if you belong to the Jamaica Football Federation or the Nigerian Football Federation, or probably can safe to say any black run federation and other federations like the United States. I can probably name the whole lot. Can throw France in there, and you most certainly can throw England in there as well. They're just all shambolic. But Canada, did this one catch you by surprise?
Yeah, it's what I think caught me by surprise was actually the strong response from the Canadian Football Federation themselves. So again, it's always down to the P's, like where is the money, who's got the money, and where is it being distributed. The Canadian men's team were rose concerns about lack of funds for the team going forward, and how they can train and how they can compete properly. And you can see they've got their stars like Alphonso Davis and I can't remember that guy's name, but he plays striker in France. And what happened actually with the Canadian women's team, not just a lack of funds, but again, looking for equal and equality when it comes to pay, which is only the right thing to do. And we've seen parity with their North American cousins in the USA who won a deal for pay equality for the national teams. So it seemed like, okay, they've done it, we should do it too, and this should be the norm across women's football in general. I think Sweden have actually done that as well, and they've actually equalized their pay. So they were looking for something similar, and it should have been a very, very simple thing. But unfortunately, Canadian football have been quite flaky with their funding, and actually countersued the players and say they had a contractual obligation to play. I think it was in the She Cup or the Gold Cup. I can't remember which one it was, but a tournament very recently, and said they will counter-sue the players if they do not turn up to this tournament and play in the tournament, regardless of one, the lack of funding to train and to come together as a squad to prepare for that properly and prepare for the World Cup going further. But then also to not, thank you so much, Joyce, Jonathan, David, thank you. Yeah, for the Canadian, they were going to counter-sue the Canadian women's team for not turning up to that tournament, which is a really strong position to hold when you're looking for pay equality, and it shows a very strong and a negative message back to the players and back to everyone looking on as well. Like, what can you say to young women, girls, anyone who are interested in trying to get into football, and a federation is saying it's counter-suing across pay equality? It's atrocious. It really is, like, very, very, very disappointing. I'm unaware of how the issue has continued or how it's developed. I don't think it has been resolved at all at this point, which again is extremely disappointing. Christine Sinclair is one of the greatest women players of all time, and these are, like you said in our pre-discussion, these are like the reigning Olympic champions. Like, it's not like a slouch team. It's not like they're no one. It's not like it's a small federation, and it kind of shows that, like, despite if you're a black federation, a small federation,
yeah,
exactly, or like the North American white, quote unquote, white federation, there's still a lot of issues when it comes to women's football.
100%. And that's why I, like, deliberately picked those countries, because you just pretty much hit the nail on the head, which is what I wanted people to pick up on, is that even those countries who are more economically developed, and no, I say countries and not teams, because obviously there's money issues spread across the board. Even they have their own issues that they have to deal with, and it's all like for like. I've got a question that I want to ask you, but I'm going to save that until I touch on a country of yours. That's going to be the next country that we're going to be looking at.
Yeah.
The reigning queens of Europe, I should say, the reigning queens of Europe. And obviously that simply means that I'm talking about the lionesses. And the key word of this one is just frustrated. And I think we can all feel the same, irrespective of who we back. So be it the Reggae Girlz or the Super Falcons, or if you're back in another country from the African region or the Caribbean region, it's pretty much the same frustration all round with the England women's team. This article came out on July the 2nd, so that's only a few days old. What day is it today? The 6th. So that's only like, what, 4 days old. I'll read a little bit for you. It says England women players are disappointed and frustrated with the Football Association after talks on performance-related bonuses broke down. The Guardian understands the squad will not be paid performance-related bonuses for the Women's World Cup in Australia and New Zealand, and the players believe the FA is using the introduction of individual fees being set by FIFA as an excuse to avoid doing so for their work for the federation at the tournament. It's such a petty and spiteful way to conduct yourself. They're supposed to be like the leaders of the game, so they're supposed to be like the benchmark with regards to how players carry themselves, but they just all seems to be like little petty school children.
No, exactly. Like, again, it comes down to pay parity, because the men's side have the exact same thing as well. Like, they have player performance related bonuses for how they do in major tournaments, and the pay packages for major tournaments are very healthy as well. So not having that for the women's as well, again, it comes down to equality, it comes down to parity, and they're just not being treated the same, and it's really, really disappointing. And to be honest, I actually fully agree with the players as well. Like, I think they are using FIFA's policy, which I think is a good policy. 100%. I think it helps a lot of players on the individual level, but again, I think how the players have outlined it as well, on a systematic level, it can be used as a detriment, and you can actually see it here where the FA may have used the pay packages that FIFA introduced for individual women's players going to tournaments to try and support those, to support all the players, but especially as a larger support for players whose federations don't have a lot of funds or are misusing their funds. It's a nice safety net, but what that can do is let the systematic problems within individual federations, regardless of if it's in Nigeria or in England, to fester, like let those problems fester, which is really disappointing.
Yeah, 100%. Something just came to mind. I don't know if you can answer it for me or make sense of my thoughts, but in our lifetime, do you see changes be made for all the right reasons, where you can see equality and equity working hand in hand? Because I don't think it's a case of you want success but you're going to give equality but you're not going to give equity, because to have for equality to be successful, the equity has to be aligned with it, because the equity is basically the tools that enable you to be successful. Can you see anything like that, like in our lifetime, happening across the board? So again, where Europe, the Caribbean, I should say, CONCACAF, and Africa is concerned?
I would love to think so. I'd love to think so. Like, I always move with a positive mindset and an optimistic mindset, but a pessimistic sort of heart, knowing how things can be in what the status quo is. I think this is a decent example where, like, FIFA have introduced a policy where they're paying players themselves directly to try and level the playing field and bring some equity to women's football and to these players going to tournaments, to make sure that everyone is paid similar to men's players, who might have a bit more support from their federation. So they're trying to bring that to an equal playing field with their policies. However, what's happened is just laziness and crassness from the federation. So it is like a push and pull, one step forward, two steps behind type situation. But those steps forward are taking place. I think from an excitement point of view as well, when we're looking about like how people are trying to go about it, like we have seen positive steps from Canada to France, and maybe this one is a step back, but then that means there's two more steps forward that we're about to take after this step back, you know what I mean? So hopefully, I think there will be a point where the equity and the equality in the game aligns up, where everyone's treated fairly and everyone's treated with respect and everyone is treated as a proper professional should be treated. These are some of the most talented players in the world who put their bodies on the line to the actual max to compete for their country. So hopefully they'll be treated as such and be celebrated as such as well. This is an exciting thing. They're cool people. So hopefully it will happen.
I think we've reached a point, with women's football, where we're just looking at a number of golden generation. I think we're absolutely spoiled with choices when it comes to looking at individual international teams and looking at the makeup of their squads. It's just it's incredible to see, and the level and the style of football, the quality of football is definitely like heading in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. Like the quality of football in the past, you could definitely see the upwards trajectory from Canada to now. Like the quality of football is incredible, and even the development of the leagues as well. I think definitely. I remember watching Canada 2015 in university, and the WSL wasn't a professional league at that point, which is ridiculous to think of in 2015. And then now, like, the WSL is mandatory professional. Every single club is a professional club. Everyone is paid properly as a professional footballer. So there is progression there. You have seen how that has led to changes on the pitch as well, and quality improving on the pitch as well. Like, I definitely remember having to maybe bite my tongue in a blunt way, to bite my tongue, or to like really think about the women's game in a different way back then. But now there is a lot more respect. There is a lot more quality. There is a lot more visible understanding of what this game is and how these players play, and also the quality that they bring, the entertainment value that they bring as well. Like, they are incredible players there. And I think, yeah, you can always see it in the youngsters. Like, there are some wicked youngsters coming through the ranks that that just show like this game is growing and it's getting better and everyone's getting more technical, and there's more people taking part. So I'm excited for that growth.
Yeah, you're right about the WSL and the growth between then and now, and that directly obviously benefits England, because that's where the majority of their team plays. A lot of the players play for the same team, so that synergy is automatically there. That relationship is there for them when they link up for the national sides, and we've seen a couple record-breaking attendance in the Women's FA Cup final. And also last season, you was at that game at the Emirates, where that one was completely sold out in the Champions League final. What was that like, atmosphere-wise and football-wise?
That was amazing. That really kind of felt like a cultural moment for women's football, especially in this country as well. Like, I think America definitely has a strong women's football culture there. I think now, especially after the Euros, we're like reaching like a peak, a bubbling of like understanding what women's football culture is, and also seeing that culture develop as well, because there are still some things that need to develop. But it was awesome. Like, I went with a good bunch of friends. Everyone got in very, very easily, and everyone got a seat. And it was just like amazing to be around so many people there, some who are there for the first time, some who've seen the game grow and grow and grow. Like, I've definitely been down to Boreham Wood, and like in that rainy tiny shed of a stadium, and then seeing that Arsenal women's used to play in and still do play in, actually. And then going to the Emirates fully sold out for women's football is incredible, and also having a fantastic game that we should have won, but unfortunately injuries took us out, which was madness.
Oh my God, that goal that won it, you could feel it. You're just like, yeah, that's it. I was hoping it would go to penalties, but you could just feel that goal coming. But if there's any Man United fans watching, thanks for that little gift that you gave us. I'm not gonna press that one.
Appreciate that a lot. Hopefully,
thank you for that lovely gift. Very, very kind of you. Keep them coming our way.
Russo can get us back to that point, and maybe a bit further in the next Champions League run. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's some depth of firepower going on with Arsenal. So it'd be interesting to see how they do this season coming up. But yeah, big up Manchester United and their fans around that lovely little summer gift. Very kind of you guys, like I said. I'm going to be turning my attention back to the Reggae Girlz and also Nigeria as well. We did face off against each other. Maybe it was 2 years ago in the summer miniseries. I want to see more of that. I've always said I want to see Jamaica forge a relationship with the motherland, with where AFCON is concerned, and play more games against African nations. It's not, for me, it's not always about facing off against European side. I think we need to forge our relationships with the motherland. But again, one thing that could probably hinder that from gaining momentum is just the politics that's involved with these petty federations.
No, exactly. It is. It's. I think segue into the politics of Nigerian football. There is a lot of posturing. There's a lot of I don't know, of clashes of interest. I'll say that. When it comes down to to operating the football side of things for Nigeria, which has been a bit unfortunate. But like having that sort of cross-continental relationship would be absolutely fantastic. Like especially where women's football can like feel a bit like whitewashed.
Yeah,
Seeing
100%.
like exactly seeing two teams of like majority dark and black football players is like just lovely to see. There definitely needs to be more diversity across the board when it comes to football, when it comes to football in general, but definitely exacerbated in women's football. So growing those ties, like being unified together and like supporting each other, that would be very fantastic.
Definitely. How are you feeling about the Women's World Cup coming up again in about two weeks time is when things start to kick off. Nigeria, in case you guys are wondering, they've already touched down under. They're ready to go. And if we look at 2023, for example, you guys have put some fixtures there in the pipeline. The last of your fixture came in April. You're going to be kicking things off down under against the reigning Olympic gold medalist Canada, before subsequently moving on to one of the co-hosts, Australia, and then closing out your group game against Republic of Ireland. But like I said, in 2023, you've racked up a few games there. I think it's like 4 in total, but less or maybe 5 in total actually. Mexico, that was back in February, and that was a narrow 1-0 defeat. And another 3 days later, another slim defeat at the hands of Colombia, again 1-0. Turned things around against Costa Rica, beating them 1-0. You went over and beat one of our Caribbean rivals, Haiti, 2-1. And you neatly tucked away one of the co-hosts, New Zealand, 3-0 back in April. So you've had a few fixtures there to prepare yourself or fine tune yourself for the World Cup. But the downside to that is your last game took place back in April.
Yeah, exactly. And the head coach of the Nigerian women's team has definitely voiced that as well. He's concerned with the lack of preparation going into this World Cup. We only have, I think they said 15 days of training before they get going. And it is a mixed squad of experience as well, and also like not just playing experience, but playing together as well. Like not all of these players, a lot of these players are new, a lot of these players are fresh, a lot of these players are younger, and they need some time to gel together. Looking across this fixture though, I think it shows ironically a fairly balanced view of what Nigeria can bring to this tournament and what Nigeria as a whole, as a team, are about really. When it comes to like the more established, larger soccer nations, not that Nigeria is a small soccer nation in any sort of terms of in any sense of the word, but like the likes of Mexico, the likes of Colombia, those are trickier games and those were narrow losses. I think that's actually a positive sign, especially I know across those friendlies and across those games, we had an inexperience. We had a squad that wasn't always full of our best talents. So narrowly losing doesn't scare me too much. And then showing the quality against New Zealand is a really positive sign. Shout out to Haiti as well, because they've had a lot of problems with their federation. So a narrow loss against Nigeria is nothing to shake, to laugh at. It's actually really impressive from their point of view. Let's get into the actual tournament. Let me just talk about football because we're talking politics. Let me just chuck that away for a second.
How are you feeling? Like, what's your expectations for? Because you can see your group there. I can read it out to you again, or read it out to the guys who are watching. You are kicking things off against Canada before moving on to Australia, and again you round things off against Republic of Ireland. So Do you fancy your chances of making it out of the group?
Here's the thing. if these fixtures were organized in a different way, I'd actually be way more confident. I'd be way more confident. If we started against Northern Ireland and if we got a win against them, it wouldn't be easy, but if we did get a win against them, I think we could take that momentum into a game against Canada, get a win against them if we're lucky, or a draw, pretty much just not lose. And I think the Australia match, I think regardless of when we play them, I think it would be tight for periods of the match, but there will be periods where I think Australia will score. Sam Kerr is one of the best strikers, if not the best striker in the world. So it's very hard to stop her. So I think we'll take that against them. Exactly. Like so if we started with Ireland and then moved on to Canada and Australia, I'd be way more confident. Starting with Canada is a tough match and it's an annoying match. Christine Sinclair, of course, is a fantastic player, but they've also got fantastic players across the board that play for Chelsea, that play in the NWSL as well. Very solid team. They have won an Olympics not too long ago. And they are also unified. It's them against their federation, and they all are playing for each other. As I guess maybe even somewhat more so than the country. So they're going to be a very tough match to start off with, especially with our team who haven't played with each other for as long. So that's going to be difficult. Then moving on to the hosts with Sam Kerr. That's just not what I want. That's fully just not what I want. And the word is Sam Kerr's like always on smoke as well. Like like literally like that last World Cup, she was really moving something different and like.
Who are you telling? Really we played against him at the last World Cup. Like that was our final.
I did not like that at all.
Yeah, that was our final.
I didn't like it at all. Exactly. So that's not a fixture that I'm looking forward to. And then going to Republic of Ireland after that, I'm not gonna lie, that sucks because I absolutely love Katie McCabe, and Katie McCabe plays so hard, and that the Republic of Ireland team did so well to qualify for this World Cup. Again, a team that has played together for a long time and gelled together really well against our team we've got excellent talent across the board. We're strong-willed players individually. It's just getting that team chemistry right for when we play any of these teams. That's the biggest worry, and in this sort of order, that's what I'm worried about more so than the actual fixtures themselves. But we'll see in it. We'll try.
And I know you said you don't want to talk about the politics, but you got to read the headline. It is all about politics on tonight's show. So I know you don't want to talk about it, but unfortunately, we've got to bring up the tug of war between your gaffer for the Super Falcons and also, surprise, the Federation and people. I'm about to have a little bit of a potty mouth, so I apologize in advance. These are not my words. I'm just trying to give you some of the stuff that's been said recently with regards to the coach. I think it's safe to say that he's trying to defend his players, right? And the Federation has fired back at him. So yeah, people, not my words. So please don't switch off. I'm going to be reading it as it is. I don't usually curse on my live stream, but I think I might have to with a couple of these quotes. But yeah, let's see how this one goes, guys. Here's a couple quotes that was taken from the Whistle podcast. The On the Whistle podcast, and it's basically extracts of what the Nigerian gaffer, that's for the Super Falcons, so the women's senior team of the Nigeria. So he says, what keeps me going is the players. Otherwise, I would have walked away from this job a long time ago. I think that's all too relatable. where we look at people who support individual teams or players. There's always that focus on, I would have walked away if it wasn't for the players, or I would have walked away if it wasn't for my country. He went on to saying that I saw the NFF, so the Nigeria Football Federation, response to my previous comments on the other podcast, and it just seemed like a really childish response. In the 2.5 years that I've been here, I've never had one time that the Federation came to me and asked, "What do you need, coach?" What keeps me going is the players. Otherwise, I would have walked away from this job a long time ago. And that is head coach Randy Waldrum. Right. There's more, guys. There's more. He says, up until about 3 weeks ago, I had been owed 14 months' salary, and then they paid 7 months' salary. We still have the players that haven't been paid since 2 years ago when we played the summer series in the United States. It's a travesty. So this is the summer series, and we were part of the summer series. So the Reggae Girls are part of the summer series, where we played against Nigeria. He went on to saying that I'm not going to be quiet anymore. In October, every country was given $960,000 from FIFA to prepare for the World Cup. Where's that money? FIFA allows your staff to have up to 22 people, but we only have 11. We don't have scouts to watch the teams in our group or potential opponents. What do you make of that?
Oh, it's brutally honest. It's not even brutally honest. It's just honest, to be honest. Like he could have been a bit more brutal if he wanted to, and I'm sure like even when he's saying he's being more honest, he's still buying his time a bit more. The situation is extremely it's extremely frustrating, and it's all too familiar when dealing with the NFF. Unfortunately, it's just again like he's asking the very plain and simple questions. Where's the money? Where's the money? And it's just unfortunate that the players aren't seeing it, the staff aren't seeing it, because it's needed. How can you represent a country on the world stage and not be as prepared as possible? And even having FIFA, the international governing body, giving you money as well. So it's not like you're looking around from other places or looking within your own country for the money. FIFA are trying something, not trying to blow up FIFA that much, but FIFA are doing something to try and help the situation. And yet it's not getting better, and that's extremely disappointing. I think, as we said before, this is a similar situation across a bunch of governing bodies and a bunch of federations, but it's just not where you want to see going into a tournament. It's extremely disappointing. I don't know really. The one positive that I can take from this is that he seems extremely fully committed to the role. He's been doing it on half salary or no salary for however long. He's fully committed to his players. That he's invested as much time as he can into them, and with a small staff network as well. So hopefully we've got a tight-knit group, regardless of how well prepared they are or not. Hopefully everyone is closely knit together. It is just it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. You see the optics of like, especially when it comes to Nigeria, we've got such a large cultural footprint across the globe, not just in football, but like seeing our new kits and like all the vibrancy, and Ashola who is like the face of Nigerian football and is again fantastic. Like even 21 goals this season, like a fantastic role model, a fantastic icon of Nigerian women's football. But then it comes down to what's behind the faces of the team is nothing, unfortunately. Like we pull back the curtain and there is no magician, there is no magic. It is just empty. It's like, like what are we doing out here? It's disappointing. It's disappointing. That's really it.
I think disappointment is probably putting it mildly but politely. I'm gonna read a little extract from the NFF Communications Director Ademola Ola Jerry. Um, Brace yourself for this one, guys. This is probably, I hope the JFF aren't listening because I don't want them taking notes and thinking that they can provide responses like this, because this is one of the craziest response I've like ever read from a federation. I was like, what am I reading? So I'm gonna go ahead and read it to you guys, and yeah, apologies in advance, but I'm just trying to bring us all up to speed with what's going on across the board where football federations are concerned. If I could find the one that I'm looking for, you should be able to see this on your screen. Yeah, you can. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and read it to you. And he's basically responding to the gaffer, right? And he's saying, incompetent loudmouth found his voice now since he's about to achieve his only ambition of leading a team at the Women's World Cup. Everyone knows FIFA pays preparation money for every team going to the Women's World Cup. The team traveled to Japan to play matches, traveled to Mexico for a tournament, and traveled to Turkey to play matches. The team is presently having a 15-day training camp in Gold Coast ahead of the Women's World Cup. It is Mr. Blabbermouth Waldron who has been paying. He claims he's been at the job because of the players. Bollocks. His entire objective has always been to add leading a team at the World Cup to his CV. Worst coach to have handled the Super Falcons of Nigeria by a country mile. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you've ever heard anything like that. I was lost for words when I read the his response. I was like, whoa. I was like, if this is how you speak publicly, what do you say behind closed doors?
Oh, it is. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. It's one of those things where, especially with the Nigerian Football Federation, there is going to be a lot of posturing, a lot of people swinging their titles around. I'll say that much.
Yeah, authority.
Exactly. I don't know. Like the only thing why I'm a bit more understanding of the coach's position rather than the federation's position is that we've also seen similar stories and similar positions on the men's side as well. So it's not just women's football issues, also on the men's side as well. And also this has happened within the women's team for a while as well. So it's not like this is a new thing. It's not like this guy is coming out of the blue. This has happened a lot of times, and it's not uncommon for the federation and for other federations as well. This quote though, this clapback is
That's
big.
exactly what it is. It's a clapback, and you don't expect clapbacks from federations like you're the federation, but it is 100% a clapback. That's what it is.
Exactly. I think where he made his biggest mistake is that he named how much money is supposedly floating out there in the ether, and the federation would not like that. That wouldn't look good on a Ford case. So I guess that's why he came so strongly. Yeah, and he also doesn't say. He said that stuff has happened. So he said that we played tournaments over the past 2 years, and we've flown out to here, there, and everywhere, or to three different locations. I won't actually claim that's here, there, and everywhere, which is fine. I understand that takes money, and I understand some of the FIFA money can do that as well. But it's still, if the coach is saying that he's understaffed by 11 staff members, and
that's significant.
that they haven't got enough preparation, that's completely different. That's literally saying like it doesn't matter where it is and it doesn't matter what you claim to have happened, and those things have happened in the coach's eyes despite the federation rather than the because of the federation.
100%.
it's not good enough. It's simply not good enough. And the strength, I wouldn't even touch upon the lack of professionalism, because it's a whatever thing, but like the strength of this clapback from the federation to the coach is it says a lot. It says a lot. If it was a bit more wishy-washy, then maybe there might be a bit more internal politics. If there was maybe a little bit more slyness around the language and whatever, maybe it might allude to, hey, this guy is actually not really telling the truth. But because it was so brash, because it was so sort of loud, and because it was quite blunt as well, especially without firing him, if these are complete lies and he's been a problem coach for however long, and you've known his intentions, why keep him on board? But you have. So obviously there is more to his side of the story than yours. But yeah, it's fully wild. It's fully wild.
Yeah, it's madness all around. Before I close off the show, obviously we're going to be touching on the Reggae Girlz. Last update that I received, guys, is that there is a chartered flight that is supposed to take them from Amsterdam to down under. I believe they're waiting on confirmation as to when they'll be flying out, be it Saturday or Sunday. So that's the latest where the Reggae Girlz is concerned. Hopefully they can get on their skates by end of play, or not even end of play, just basically by Sunday the latest. Should take them about 23 to 24 hours to get to Australia. There's no way that chartered flight can go the distance without refueling. I don't think that's possible. So surely you have to make a stopover somewhere. That's going to take time. I'm assuming, guys, I don't think you can fly for that long. And yeah, be interesting to see when they arrive in Australia, because obviously we know that Brazil have already arrived. Brazil is one of our opponents. Panama has a game coming up against Japan in Japan, and then I'm assuming from there they will just go to the World Cup. So I think as things stand, there's a toss-up between who will be the late arrival in our group. I think it might be Panama that arrives, sorry guys, later than us, only because they're playing Japan, not in Australia but in Japan, and Jamaica are scheduled to play against Morocco. Only Lord knows if that fixture is going to go ahead. That one's scheduled for Sunday, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday. So we can just keep our eyes peeled with regards to what's going on. What I'm going to do is go over to Jamaica, and sorry if it's a little bit heavy on the heart with what's been said so far, but look, man, if I'm down in the dumps, I'm taking you guys with me, as they say. Misery loves company. Why should I be the only one that's upset over here? Let's all be upset in unison.
Yeah, all in this together, you know.
You're all in this together. Big up yourself, Coach's Desk. Make sure you check him out, guys. Especially with the Jamaica athletics trials taking place. I believe it started today, and that's going to extend over the next couple of days. And Budapest is firmly in sight with regards to the athletics championship. So do go ahead and check out Coach's Desk. So what's in front of you is the squad announcement, and it just goes to show that I haven't even given you guys this yet, just because, like I said, my spirit is so low when it comes to this Women's World Cup. I was always going to give you guys content around it, obviously, but there's just so much gloomy. It feels like the British weather right now. It just feels so dull and yucky. And hopefully that will change. So if you're not familiar with the squad list, I did discuss the back three maybe some 4 months ago. I think this was the only area on the field of play that I could guess accurately, and surprise, surprise, it was as I imagined it to be. So we're gonna go from between the sticks and then look at how the rest of the players pan out to complete the squad for this year's Women's World Cup taking place in Australia and New Zealand in a little under 2 weeks' time. Rebecca Spencer, Sydney Schneider, Leah Brooks, Alison Swaby, Chantel Swaby, Konya Plummer, Denisha Blackwood, Vian Sampson, Tierney Wiltshire, Atlanta Primus, Drew Spence, Trudy Carter, Havana Salone, Peyton McNamara, Soleil Washington, Shayna Matthews, Jody Brown, Kayla McKenna. That is also Kayla McCoy. That simply means that she got married, guys, some months back. Kiki Van Zanten, Cameron Simmons, Khadija Shaw, Paige Bailey Gale, Tiffany Cameron, and our reserves is Sashana Campbell. And you can go ahead and if you want to make note of that team, just go ahead and look at the Jamaica Football Federation social media page, and they've got it up on there. Now we're going to actually go and look at what's going on elsewhere. I've already touched on a number of federations, the likes of Canada, England, who else did we touch on? We touched on Canada, England, France. That's it. France is one of our opponents. Also touched on Nigeria as well. So now we're going to be focusing on Jamaica before I close out the show, because it is a Reggae Girlz channel. So it makes sense to do exactly that. I'm going to close this screen and we're going to go over and look at just to balance some things up. Because like I said, we have spoken about Nigeria and we have been comparing how federations are, and I think it's fair to say it's like for like. I hope no one from the JFF, like I said, have been listening. I don't want them going getting any ideas to sharpen their clapbacks. So hopefully they ain't been listening to this particular live stream. But yeah, if we can go ahead and look at the Reggae Girlz and how we're looking in terms of preparation and see perhaps who has the slightly better prep going into the Women's World Cup. As I stated earlier on, Brazil are already down under, so they're managing to shake off their jet lag. There's bound to be some jet lags when you're traveling to Australia. Because of the distance for a lot of countries is taking 23 to 24 hours, a whole day of traveling. So you will be mashed up by the time you land. I don't care how much how comfortable you're feeling in business class. Point is you're gonna be mashed up. So enjoy it. Make sure you sip on something soft and get as much rest as you can. Probably can't feel your legs by the time you get off the plane, but you'll be able to shake off that jet lag, hopefully. As I said earlier on, we are expected we have a fixture in the pipeline against Morocco. I've been trying to find out some further details on that for you guys, but this is what I'm saying, that this anticipated chartered flight that is supposed to be leaving in some days' time from Australia to from Amsterdam to Australia. It does really need to go ahead if you're looking to play against Morocco, which would be the final game before our match against um, France, which will be match day one of the group stage of the World Cup. Preparation wise, I'm going to do what we did with Nigeria. So we looked at Nigeria and we saw that they had about, call it 5 games in 2023 to sharpen their tools for their appearance at this year's Women's World Cup. If we do the same with the Reggae Girlz, and if we say let's focus on 2023 and try to round this off a little bit. So can all remember the Cup of Nations. This one was down under where we played against Spain. This one we lost 3-0. Subsequently, we lost against the Czech. 3-2, and then we closed things off losing against one of the co-hosts for this year's Women's World Cup, Australia 3-0. But I guess it's the experience that counts when you're trying to prepare yourself for a Women's World Cup. So that's 3 games there in 2023. We can go ahead and ignore the CAC women's games because that's an entirely different group in itself. It's not the senior women's team that will be going to the Women's World Cup. So to put it mildly, it's really not relevant to our conversation. So again, 3 games there from 2023, and we can go ahead and maybe add we also had which I don't think it's here. We also had a game against Sheffield United. That's clearly not here. I think that was back in the April window, if memory serves me well. That one took place at the King Power Stadium, and the one that you guys would have seen there at the King Power Stadium lost that one 2-0. Again, good practice if we want to sharpen our tools for our competition down under. So far, I believe that's 4 games there that we could count. So it's looked like we might have what 3 to 4 games that we can count on going into the World Cup, and then we kick things off against France, and we've already dissected France. Little bit of an issue here where the groups are concerned, and there's always that issue when it comes to preparation. I shouldn't even say little bit of an issue because, as they say with everything, preparation is key. Slightly different to when you look at France's preparation, for example. If you look at France and look at their involvement with regards to their 2023 calendar, they've had more than a number of fixtures. I think they've had like 7 fixtures, including tonight's game against Republic of Ireland, where you can clearly see that they won 3-0. I think I'm getting a little bit of a feedback, Ala.
Sounds clear. It's clear for me. Sounds clear for me.
Okay, let me know in the comment section, guys, if you guys are getting any feedback. But if you're not, then I'll just continue. I'm gonna continue reading, and if you guys are getting feedback, then just shout me and let me know. So yeah, with France, it's looking like they've had like close to double figures with their preparation. And I'm only focusing on this year. You can see there 1, that's Denmark, 2, Uruguay, 3, Norway, 4, Colombia, 5, Canada, 6, Republic of Ireland. It says a bit. I might have to mute you for a second, Ola. I think what's happening now is when I talk, I get a feedback. So I think I might have to mute you, and then when you want to talk, I might have to mute myself.
Yes.
You good with that?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So yeah, going back to France. So if I count that again, simply just focusing on 2023. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fixtures there. Oh yeah, I thought so. I was thinking surely it should be 7, and then they've got a fixture against Australia, which obviously will be a friendly. So that would be 7 before they take us on in match day 1 at the Women's World Cup. So they've had close to 10 fixtures to sharpen their tools. So when we take them on, and if we look at our next not next, but one of our opponents also in that group, which would be Brazil. Brazil have been at it as well with their preparation. They've played a number of matches in 2023. If we go back, I think this one might be 2022. Yeah, this one here is 2022. So we can look at from the She Believes Cup. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think that matches up with my notes. So 6 games going into their match, which will be match day 1 against Panama. Panama is another team that we're going to be playing against in our group, and they've been taking this one quite serious, as they should. And let's see, Panama, obviously, they've done their intercontinental playoff, and that's how they booked their ticket to the World Cup. So I think it's only fair to count that as preparation as well, because it is still good practice and it's gotten them to where they are. And if you look at their games, again, from just solely focusing on 2023, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, whoa, 9, 10, 11. Wow, I've got to count that again because that was way more than I think I miscounted there, guys. I don't think it's meant to be that much, but let's give that another count. So they had a double header there against Chile, so that's 2. Papua New Guinea 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is way more than does that match up with my notes? Let's see. Yes, it does. Oh wow, I've shocked myself, which I shouldn't really have. So that's 10 fixtures there. Like I said earlier on, they do have a friendly against Japan coming up in some days' time, and that one is going to be taking place in Japan, and then it only makes sense that they'll be making their way from Japan to go to Australia. And this is why I'm saying I think the toss up now is probably between us and Panama with regards to who's going to arrive the latest of the group. Kind of feel like it's going to be Panama, but my God, we're run by incompetence. So who knows? Panama at this rate might just arrive before us. I'm expecting France to arrive as the second team in our group to arrive next in Australia, because they've done their damage over Republic of Ireland in their friendly. They have a game against Australia. That's a friendly, and that's at the Marvel Stadium. If I could see, and that says that it's in Australia, so they'll be getting on their skates and should be arriving in Australia in some days' time. So I think the last team that should arrive in our group should be Panama, but only Lord knows if that's going to be the case. I don't know if it is. Like I said, we're run by incompetence, so who knows? Hopefully, we're not the last team, because jet lag is a hell of a thing. I don't play no sports, but even when I travel, and jet lag would knock you out. So they're going to be needing to be in fine form if you want to get the best out of these players. So that's how we're looking going into the World Cup, guys. I don't really want to sit here and
have to say real quick, I think France were undefeated throughout their whole preparation period. Going into the tournament, which is maybe an ominous sign, but we'll see what they do.
Those are not the things that we want to hear on this channel. Kind of feel like you've come with this energy to try and like frighten us. Not really liking it, Allah. Definitely not liking it. But yeah, we're in a tough group, to put it mildly. It's not an easy group, and that's why preparation is key. That is why preparation is key. I'm just reading what you guys are saying in the comment section. Yeah, guys, I don't really want to be sitting here and like lying to you guys and talk about how excited I am. My excitement isn't really there. think I was way more, not even I think, I know I was way more excited with the 2019 Women's World Cup. I think that's something that's killing the hype to the look. 100%. I'm so glad that you said this, because the itinerary for Australia, Allah, it's mind blowing. I did not realize the size of Australia until this World Cup. Madness. I'm like, the organizers, I think, should have done a better job. Like, I firmly believe that all the group stages games should just have been held at one stadium. So if you're playing, for example, if you're playing at the Emirates or Old Trafford or Stamford Bridge, then stay there, like stay in that city. Like, but to be moving from this city to next city, I'm like, that's a lot of hard work. All these domestic flights, like,
Like,
it's
if
crazy.
people don't know, Australia is literally considered a continent. It is that big. It is huge, massive,
It
massive.
really is. Yeah, I didn't realize the size of that country until the World Cup, and I was like, Lord have mercy. You cannot drive to a game, guys. I looked at the route, and if you're driving to a game, chances are you're going to miss it. You're going to miss that game. If you're leaving now, like maybe straight after match day one, chances are you miss match day two, because it's far. You need a plane.
Like,
You need to jump on a domestic.
honestly, Australians get bored and they do it as like a bit of fun. They literally road trip for multiple
Yeah.
days to get from one side of Australia to another, and they have to like make sure they're fueled up as well, because there's nothing in between. It's literally just desert, mountains, and that's it. It's so far. It's such a big country.
Yeah, definitely. Ira Vibes, are you satisfied with the squad selection? Satisfied is an interesting word. I think it could be better. I think the squad could be better. I think there's weaknesses there. I know I've heard a couple of people saying that this is our best squad. I'm like, is it now? Is it really? I think for something to be your best squad, you shouldn't be able to identify a weakness automatically. So for me, I can identify weakness within the squad. So I don't think it's our best squad. Of course, it's an improvement on the 2019 squad. No disrespect to that team, because they're all legends in their own right. But yeah, there's improvements in that regard. But is it our best squad? I personally don't think that it is. You was gonna say something, Carla?
Yeah. Shout out to the team, obviously, and no disrespect to anyone. Who would you like to see? So let's not like talk about the weaknesses, but who would you like to see in the squad? And then of the people who are already there, who are you excited to see play for Jamaica?
I can't even use excitement with this World Cup, man. I'm excited for the youngsters, to be honest with you. I really am excited for the girls who are in line for their debut. It's a massive achievement. They're around a crop of level-headed, experienced players. Few of the core players have been there, done that, been in their position. So they'll definitely be like that pillar to lean on and guide them. So there's a massive positive in that regard. I would have been looking at the centre back issue. I don't want to give too much away. I think there's the defense for me has always been an issue with our team, and I think that's the one area that we needed to sharpen. And I think you could have been a bit more. I think you could have been a bit more stern with the gaffer could have been a bit more stern with his selection. Almost like I think he should have used one stone to kill two birds. I think nowadays, particularly where club football is concerned, managers and head coaches are going for versatile players, so players that can operate in a number of positions. I think there are players there that he could have utilized to operate in that defensive position and also fill the void in midfield. But he didn't do that. Can't say I'm surprised because I didn't expect him to. So yeah, that's why I'm saying I don't think it's our best squad. But you know, big up to the team. Good luck to them. Players don't pick themselves essentially. So it's not really a player issue. It's probably more of a question mark for the coach. I don't know. Mr. Warren Webster, good evening. Never got a notification, but we rewatch. Pick up yourself. Thank you. I try. Thank you. Our girls getting any more friendly. Not that I tried to give you guys some information, guys, but I ran into a brick wall earlier on today. I can only ask questions. If I don't get an answer, then I don't get an answer. I can't report and what I don't know. I don't want to mislead you guys. So no, as far as I'm concerned, nothing's been said with regard to the question that I've asked. So I mean, if I hear an update, then I will let you guys know. So this means the way we are. So this means that we are way behind with practice games. Like I said, Colin, back in October, where we missed that window in the latter stage of 2022, we were already 2 games behind on our opponents. And that to me just meant that coming into this Women's World Cup, we're 2 games less prepared. And you can kind of see that with regards to how many games the other teams have played, even up until now. Teams fine-tuning themselves, Brazil, Panama, France, to name a few. Brazil is our best chance at winning. Huh? Brazil and Panama is our best chance at winning.
I'll say definitely Panama. Panama for sure. Brazil, maybe not. Brazil have got.
Oh, he means who he thinks that we can beat in the team.
Yeah.
Oh, Brazil is definitely not no walkover, especially with that monster Mata in her in this is going to be the closing stage of her international career. So Brazil is no joke.
This is a 6th tournament, in it. A 6th
Yeah,
tournament. And I think
she's a
even Davina might be in
monster.
this one as well, which is insane. No, Davina retired from international, but still, but like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, longevity. And they've got like up and comers as well who are like incredible. Like England in the She Believes Cup were very lucky to get a win out of that game. But like they're decent this year. They're very decent.
Yeah, 100%. Oh, women should be going in this competition stress-free. It's amazing how much patience these ladies have shown. I wish them the best for this campaign. Pray no injuries before the World Cup. Yeah, definitely no injuries.
They have been incredibly patient, and what's been nice being seeing the outpouring of support from a fan's point of view of the Jamaican national team, especially like even with the funds raised and just literally just like this, just like the shout outs and the big ups, like just to give them some energy going through. It is really hard when you're facing so much problems with the federation. Like it's hard to fight something and feel like you're up against it. So to have a fan like with you is a fantastic thing as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Crystal, what are you thinking about some of these players being mentioned in the chat? Like, are some of them that people you had an eye on, had in mind?
Yeah, there are a couple of players there that I had in mind. Actually, I'm not really surprised, like with regards to the what do you want to call it, the selection of like the core players. Yeah, I'm just kind of looking back at previous camps and I'm thinking, what was the point? Again, I don't want to scapegoat players. That's why I'm trying to tread carefully. I'm like, what was the point of calling up this player who not necessarily created problems, but it was a problem to bring the player into the fold if we're then not going to be pushing forward with the player, because there was so much efforts to bring them into the group, if that makes sense. And then I don't know, man. And then it's like you're talking about all this drumming and beating of the drums of saying you want to apply fairness and you want to give people equal opportunity. And I'm thinking, has there been equal opportunity for all? I don't think that there has been. Again, I'm trying to stay away from the politics and I'm trying to be as positive as I can, but I don't necessarily feel like there's been fairness across the board, if I'm being honest with you. I can only just share my opinion. Again, I'm not here to scapegoat no player. I'm not going to like highlight any player in particular because they don't essentially they don't pick themselves. That's a coaching or federation decision. That's not down to the players per se. But yes, oh God. I don't
Okay,
know.
last one. Last one for me then, and this is directed to the chat as well. Thank you all for having me. I appreciate the time and the patience as well. But who of the current squad that you've seen, that have been selected, which players are you all looking forward to see?
Yeah, I think we have some exciting talents coming up, but yeah, Ola, I don't know. Yeah, like I said, I hear people saying it's the best squad. I don't think it's the best squad, to be honest with you. And that's not to like say that I'm not appreciative of the not best, strongest squad is what I should say. I see people saying it's the strongest squad. I'm like, for me, if you're saying it's the strongest squad, I shouldn't be able to pinpoint weak areas because you're supposed to be the best. Like it's supposed to be that stern that you cannot find any weakness within the squad. But I think there are weaknesses in our team, unfortunately. But what would the gaffer say to that? He's probably going to say every team has a weakness. So it is what it
Yeah,
is.
we might get lucky and be proven wrong. It might be a system thing, you know. Like some players play better in a specific type of system, and some players fit
Don't
into
get
a
me
different
started on
system.
system. Don't even get me started on system with Robert. Look, this is why I delayed doing a live stream on the Reggae Girls because I'm trying to just get my thoughts right. I'm trying to be positive. Oh, but yeah, it's all I can say is just good luck to the team, good luck to the gaffer. I hope the tournament goes as according to plan and we just can leave Australia and New Zealand if needs be with our head held high. That's what I hope for. Anyways, I'm looking at some of you in the comment section. I would love to bring up a few of your comments, but I think if I bring up a comment, I'll probably start ranting, and I don't even want to do that on tonight's show. I'm trying to keep my nerves cool, guys. So, yeah. But big up you guys in the comment section, though. You're asking all the right questions, that's for sure. That's for certain. And yeah, I'm gonna be giving you guys World Cup content. I felt like I needed to give you guys this show tonight because I think it's long overdue. I haven't touched on the Reggae Girls for a minute. Again, just because I'm trying to clear my head and just think clearly and give you guys well thought out content. I think the only area that I have zero complaints with is goalkeeper between the sticks. I think that's how it was always going to be. Outfield, yeah, interesting. But yeah, I wish the team the very best of luck. That's my squad. I wish them the very best of luck. Um, and looking to see who can add their name to our goal scorers. Last time round at the 2019 Women's World Cup, we only had one goal scorer, and that was amazing. Oh my god, I was screaming. I remember that. There's a clip of me somewhere on socials of me screaming in the press box when that goal was scored. I remember the French telling me, the French what do you want to call her now? She's in charge of the press area. she's not a press officer. I can't remember her job title, but I remember her saying that no filming. And I was thinking, you think I came all the way from London, England to not film? I was like, I'm going to be filming. So I'm not here to obey your rules. I'm here to have a good time. She said no filming. I was like, you're having a laugh. And yeah, I filmed, guys. I weren't trying to listen to her. So thank you to you guys in the comments section, new and old, especially the people that were with me for the last World Cup journey. Some of you are still here 4+ years on. You're still giving me support. Thank you guys so much for that. Yeah, Warren, you missed the show, Mr. Webster. I spoke about your country, I should say your second country, Canada. That was one of the first countries that we touched on. Spoke about Nigeria, Canada, England. Jesus, my memory. Who else did we talk about?
France.
Why do I keep forgetting France? Disrespect. This is the second time I forgot France. And pick up the French. Yeah, and France as well, and the USA, the current reigning champion. So yeah, there's a lot of problems worldwide with women's football. I live in Canada, so hats off to our wonderful women and beautiful Helen of all shades. Sending love from North Carolina. I think then you would appreciate this particular show, Mr. Webster. It's a bit of a shame that you just tuned in, because yeah, we definitely big up your second country, Canada. And yeah, I think we did it. I think I did a good job. Before I forget my manners, big up you guys there in the comment section. I think I'm gonna round this one off to 2 hours, because we've been at it. It doesn't feel like it, but we've been at it for like 1 hour and 55 minutes. So I think yeah, you guys feel free to fire your questions away to either myself or my special guest. Ideally, fire them to my special guest instead of me. Like I said, he's a sports media creative, one of the best content creators there is. Nigerian boy, with a whole lot of love for both the Super Falcons, so the Nigerian women's national team, and also the Lionesses as well. So yeah, feel free to fire some questions his way. We've got about 4 minutes until we have to love you and leave you guys. Tell JFF to organize a friendly with Nigerian. That would be madness.
That would be so good. It would be so good.
This is a fixture that I've been wanting to happen. I've been wanting for this fixture to happen for the longest. It happened. I actually did ask Mr. Ricketts to give us a fixture against Nigeria well over 2 years ago. And to be fair, it did happen. It just happened in the States. So he did actually say that he would try to make it happen. So I don't know. Does that mean he's a man of his word? I don't know, guys. You decide. I'm not gonna put words into your mouth. But he did say that he would look into it, and obviously we were invited for the summer miniseries some 2 years ago. Time flies by the United States, and Nigeria were part of that group of teams. So yeah, we've played against Nigeria. It's just a shame that it was across the pond. If that came to London, then those tickets I'm sure would sell, and the energy would be just right. It will be a lot going on with the combination of both cultures. So yeah, I would love that. Do you understand that comment at the end, Allah, from IT Push?
I can't see it.
I don't understand what he's saying. IT Push, I don't understand what you're saying. I don't know. Can you just expand on what you're saying? Maybe I'm being a little slow. I'm reluctant to bring up the comment, the comment, only because I don't understand what you're saying. So if you can just elaborate on what you're saying, then yeah, that would be good. We've got about 2 more minutes, guys, until I close off on tonight's live stream. So big up you guys there in the comment section. Thank you for watching, and thank you to the many of you. 70 of you have hit the like button, which is quite something. So thank you for hitting the like button. I definitely appreciate your support each and the question is for my guests, but what is your question? That's what I'm saying. Let me go and try and see. Let me see. Let me get it up and see if Ola knows what you're talking about. Do you understand what he's talking about?
Yeah, I think so. Are you talking about like BRICS as in like BRICS countries as in like Brazil, Russia, India, China?
I think that's what he's
Sort of
on
like
about,
growing. Yeah.
like South Africa and that.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so those countries invest in Nigeria and in Africa and West Africa in general. Honestly, I can't really tell you. There's a lot of thoughts about Chinese, specifically Chinese and Russian investment within Nigeria and West Africa as a whole, across a number of industries, not just, but like how that influences football on the continent, and then also through through the football, both in the continent and through diaspora. I'm not quite sure how that's developed. And to be honest, if it has developed, I'm not sure how it's developed in a positive way. I'll say that much. Like if there is money being pumped in, I get what you're saying in that sort of sense. But whether that money is being shipped around, especially on a football sense, I'm not quite sure. I can't really answer that, but my gut would say probably not. Unfortunately.
Hey Warren, big up yourself. That's quite a lot. That's a large percentage, but I can't say I'm surprised. I kind of feel like with most Jamaicans, you're either going to have traces to Ghana because our only female national hero, Nani Nabaroon, she came from Ghana. In terms of Nigeria, there's a few similarities there with words like they say picking, we say picnic. They have Calabar, and we have a school called Calabar. Nigeria have a beach called Calabar. So there's obviously you can't ignore the obvious. It's right in front of you that there is some traces there with both countries. So, but yeah, 50% is quite a huge chunk. So yeah, big up the green, white, green. Best of luck to Nigeria in the World Cup. Hopefully, just like the Reggae Girls, they make it out of the group. So final question. Who's the better player? You're looking to start a fight.
We said no diaspora wars. We're doing up nice. We're doing like, good luck to Nigeria, good luck to Jamaica. We're like having a nice little conversation. I'm trying to start something out here. You know what? I'm gonna refuse to answer. I'll say that. Shouts funny sure there. Shouts funny sure, but I'll refuse to answer.
Oh my God. Wow. What a question. I'm going to back my girl. I was ready to go to war. I'm not going to lie. I'm not gonna lie, I was ready to go to war with this question. Yeah, I revives. Big up yourself for that. I like that. I definitely love that question. That's the perfect question to end the show on, I think. And yeah, if you're just tuning in, you're probably going to have to watch this one on replay. The headline reads for itself: FIFA 2023 Women's World Cup has more drama than a soap opera. Where is the buzz? If you're catching up on the show, then drop some comments in the comment section and let me know where the buzz is coming from. Maybe I can latch on to your bit of energy because I'm depleted. I ain't got no energy for this Women's World Cup. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So hopefully, like the Men's World Cup, when things kick off, hopefully my energy will pick up pace. Again, massive thank you to you guys in the comment section for sitting for the best part of just over an hour with me and my special guest, Mr. Olafuseyo. Where can they find you on socials?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram, on Twitter, and I guess now on Threads. Because now we've got that thing going on. And listen, I jump bandwagon in it. Like if the ship's sinking, I have to jump off it. So I'm on everything as NF___Ola. That's me.
All right, well there you go.
Elon sunk the ship in it. I was like, what are we doing?
There you go. IT push. I would never ignore you, but you're asking me to touch on questions that's going to leave me hot and bothered, and I'm trying to remain calm. IT push. I've seen your comments. I've not ignored them. I just don't have the energy to go down a certain avenue. Unfortunately, but who knows, maybe on my next live stream I might have the energy to talk about what you want to talk about. But I'm not seeing your question. I'm not gonna lie, I can see it, but I just don't have I'm not in the right frame of mind to talk about that particular topic that you was drumming on. The head branch for African country is yeah, exactly. Big up yourself, Mr. Marcus Messiah Garvey. Always bring the national heroes with you when you're stopping by the platform. Yeah, again, heavy on the West Africa culture with Jamaica. And again, part of our national dish traces itself right back to Ghana. Anyways, so that's enough of my rambling on. Mr. Fisayo, any final words?
Nah, just big up. Thank you so much. Big love and big good luck to the Reggae Girlz.
Thank you. And again, yeah, good luck to Nigeria as well. I'm not going to wish no other teams good luck, especially teams that's in in our group, I should say. Glad to be in your presence. You are always so pleasant. Oh, thank you. I don't even know if you're talking about I'm going to share that with my guests because I love being in the presence of my guests. So I'll share it with my my guests. And God bless you too. It's been an absolute pleasure sitting here I did tell my guests that only 30 minutes. So I'm so sorry that we've gone way over time. But there was unfortunately quite a lot to unpack. But thank you so much for blessing me with a moment of your time. Always love chopping things up with you, and definitely this won't be the last time having you on the channel. You guys in the comment section, like I always say, you are the ultimate 12th man. Thank you each and every time for giving me your love and support. You know how it goes. If you're new to the channel, please do go ahead and hit the notification bell, especially now that we're under 2 weeks to go for the kickoff of the Women's World Cup. Mr. Beckford, no problem at all. I can always catch you on another live stream. It's no problem. If you're out and about, good day or good evening, I should say, Mr. Porter. Hope you're okay. If you're out and about, I hope that you make it home safe and sound. If you're on the graveyard shift, have a lovely shift. And I'm going to be leaving you with John Barnes and also the Reggae Girlz. Don't forget to hit like on the video and get this video widespread across our community. Big up yourself, Mr. Olafuseyo. It's been great chatting with you. And guys in the comment section, until next time, take care.
I think the uniqueness of the Reggae Girlz is they embody the national motto of Jamaica, which is out of many one people. So when you look at the entirety of the Jamaica squad, you have dark-skinned girls, mixed-race girls, girls who have black and Asian in them. You also have the homegrown players, so like your Bunny Shaw, your Konya Plummer, your Denden Blackwood. So what that means in terms of from a grassroots perspective is girls who are born in Jamaica can look at a Bunny Shaw and hear that authentic accent and say, you know, if Bunny can make it, then so can I. Once you hear that authenticity, that raw Jamaican accent, they should be able to look at a Bunny Shaw who's now our captain to say, if Bunny can do it, especially if you come from the same community, the same parish as her, if she can do it, then so can we.
I'm John Barnes, and you're watching Tallawah TV with Crystal Davis.